Okay, so I want to cover another Mysterio storyline. Now, this one is going to be about Quentin Beck. So, if you are wondering which Mysterio it is, don't worry. It's not Danny Burkhart or the other two Mysterios that came out in the recent years. We're going to focus on the original Mysterio, Quentin Beck. Now, when it comes to the storyline, it's called Media Blizzard. Now, the reason why it's called Media Blizzard is because when it comes to Mysterio, he was trying to get his own television network in the middle of a blizzard. Hence the name Media Blizzard. Now, this was a three-part storyline that took place in three separate Spider-Man titles: Sensational Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man, and also Spider-Man. Now, with that being said, this was also in the middle of the Clone Saga. And you already know, when it comes to the Clone Saga, it has Peter Parker, it got Ben Reilly, you got Kane, and you have all the other Clone Saga mess. Now, around this point in the Clone Saga, Marvel was trying their best to convince their fans that Peter Parker was the clone and Ben Reilly was the original person. And so when it comes to the storyline, it was Marvel really trying their best to say, hey guys, Peter Parker is gone. We are now going to focus on Ben Reilly. He's now your current Spider-Man. Matter of fact, he is the Spider-Man. Peter Parker was a fake the entire time, which honestly was a bad idea. And so this is Ben getting ready to go after Mysterio in a more interesting kind of way. Oh, did I mention that Mysterio, Quentin Beck, comes back with a brand new outfit? Yes. In the 1990s, and this storyline in particular, Marvel was trying to give Mysterio a brand new outfit, hoping that it would get the fans to fall back in love with the character even more, to get the fans to read more Spider-Man comics and be all like, oh my god, that's Mysterio, he looks cool and amazing. His outfit to me is not that bad, but not that great. But either way, let's go ahead and dive into Media Blizzard. And so getting into today's storyline, we do pick up with Ben Reilly working at a coffee shop. Now, the reason why he's working at this coffee shop is really more of Marvel saying, okay, we're going to use Ben as a way to replace Peter Parker, but we want to make sure that Ben has his own life away from Peter Parker's life. And so when it comes to Ben, he cannot work at the Daily Bugle. It has to be something different, hence the coffee shop. Now, while working there, he does run into a young girl known as Jessica. Now, when it comes to Jessica, it seemed like Marvel was teasing the idea that Jessica is going to be a love interest for Ben, but at the same time, she's going to be used as a way to keep the Daily Bugle around. And the reason why, because when it comes to Jessica, she is attending a college or university nearby, except when it comes to her career, she wants to be a photographer. And we kind of find out that she has been taking a lot of photos of Ben Reilly in his brand new Spider-Man suit. That's the thing right there, guys. When it came to the Sensational Spider-Man series, they gave Ben Reilly a brand new suit for this particular series. And so you have Jessica tell Ben, hey, you should come with me to my workstation at the university and see the photos that I have taken of Spider-Man right now. And she does tell Ben that she wants to give those photos over to the Daily Bugle to get her name out there, that somebody is able to get some good pictures of Spider-Man in his brand new suit. Now, when it comes to Ben, he's very amazed in her work. He's all like, yeah, you should most definitely give your work over to the Daily Bugle. But then you have Ben Reilly run into a character known as Dr. Ramirez. Now, when it comes to Dr. Ramirez, he first appeared in the 0 issue of this series. He's also someone who had created the DIT chip. And what the chip is able to do is take your thoughts and then turn it into a live image for other people to see. Now, here's the thing. The chip was recently stolen, and of course, it was stolen by Mysterio. Either way, when it comes to Ben, he knows Ramirez as Spider-Man, and he realized that, okay, something must be really wrong with Ramirez if he's in a hurry right now trying to get back to his lab. And so you have Ben say goodbye to Jessica to go ahead and change back into his Spider-Man outfit to go check in on Ramirez. Now, when you do have Spider-Man go check in on the doctor, he realized that the doctor is under some kind of trance. And what I mean by that is the doctor just cannot stop watching whatever being played right now on his television. And matter of fact, you have been walk into the laboratory, call out the doctor by his name. The doctor does not move. He just continues to watch whatever is being played on the TV. He tries to move the doctor. The doctor just continues to watch whatever is being played on the TV. And so you have been trying to see what in the world is right now being played on the TV. And when he goes to look, the same thing that is happening right now to the doctor begins to happen to Ben Reilly. Now, luckily for Ben, he is strong enough to pull away, and he realized that something is very fishy about the TV or that TV channel. And so you have Spider-Man just web up the TV. Once he does that, the doctor is free and back in control of his own body again. So you have the doctor tell us that when it comes to the channel he was watching a channel known as Mystery Vision. Now you already know, when it comes to Mystery Vision, this is a channel that belongs to Mysterio. Now when it comes to Doctor, he says, I feel like someone from that company stole my DIT chip. Now remember, when it comes to the chip, it has the ability to take your thoughts and to bring it into a live image. And so right now, you have the doctor saying some of the things I was seeing on that channel were so crazy and bizarre, but I feel like somebody from that network stole my chip and trying to use it right now to make some big bucks. And so you have been saying, you know what? Let me go ahead and investigate this brand new network and figure out who in the world is in charge, but at the same time, did they steal the DIT chip? And so you have been being able to find the building that Mystery Vision is working out of. Now here's the thing, they're working out of an old theater. Now when it comes to this theater, it does look run down. And so when it comes to Ben, he's wondering, okay, there is no way a brand new network is working out of some old beat up building that's been closed down for many years. Except when he goes inside, it does look like a well working company. Everything looks so clean and nice. They look like an actual company. Now, when it comes to Ben, he still cannot believe what's happening right now when it comes to Mystery Vision. And so his goal is to kind of just snoop around to hopefully find the DIT chip, but at the same time, figure out who is the true mastermind behind this brand new organization, this brand new network. And so while trying to sneak around, he does run into the person in charge of the actual network, and that would be Randolph Hines, better known as just Professor Hines. Now, when it comes to Spider-Man, he truly does believe that right now he is talking to Professor Hines, but not realizing that Professor Hines is really just Quentin Beck in disguise. Either way, you have Hines tell Ben that when it comes to his network, their main goal is to do some bizarre things. But at the same time though, the reason why he does bizarre things is to be different from the other networks. That is why his company is doing so well right now when it comes to the other networks out there in the world. Now, when it comes to Ben, he truly does believe what Hines is telling him, except you didn't have Hines say, listen, I want to show you that what we're trying to do here is nothing evil, but only good. And matter of fact, you can be the first person to test out our new 3D glasses. And so you have been put on the 3D glasses. Here comes the problem though with these 3D glasses. See, Mysterio knew that sooner or later Spider-Man was going to appear. So what he did was he put adhesive lens inside the 3D glasses that will fit perfectly on Spider-Man's mask. And so when Ben put on the glasses, well, those adhesives just fit perfectly and stuck right to Spider-Man's mask. And when it comes to these lenses, well, they're basically going to show different kind of illusions in front of Spider-Man to play mind games with him. And so as soon as Ben takes off the glasses, well, that is when he's confronted by Mysterio. Except once he does see Mysterio, that is when the illusions begin to come in to play mind games with Spider-Man, to the point where he does believe that he is right now fighting against different kind of creatures that Mysterio is putting in front of him at the moment. Now, here's the thing, because that blizzard is coming in right now, hence the name Media Blizzard. And so apparently, because right now a blizzard is coming in, his web shooters are frozen. And so while trying to fight against the different creatures that Mysterio is putting in front of him, well, then he tried to get away, but he cannot swing away because his web shooters are now frozen. And so the first chapter ends with technically Spider-Man falling to his death. And so we do jump into the second chapter of this storyline. Now, when we do see Spider-Man right now trying to use his ability to stick to walls as a way to slow himself down so he will not crash into the ground. Now, when it comes to the last wall that he tried to stick to, well, he does slam into that wall pretty hard to the point where he does knock himself out, but still being able to stick to the wall. And so while he's hanging on the wall, he's literally knocked out. Now, you do have Mysterio bring a camera around to follow Spider-Man around. And the reason why, because he is going to use Spider-Man as a way to give his brand new network new content for his fans to watch. And so it's a way for him to just make more money, but to hopefully sooner or later get rid of Spider-Man as well. But we kind of find out that Mysterio does have something else up his sleeve. And what I mean by that is, when it comes to Mysterio, he's right now trying to break someone out of prison as a way to kill off Spider-Man, but to also make new content for his brand new network. And that would be a character known as Armada. Now, when it comes to Armada, there's not much to say here because he only appeared in a handful of books. All we know is that he's some kind of mercenary that does use a power suit and other kind of high-tech weapons as a way to be a well-functioned mercenary. Now, he first appeared in the 0 issue of this series where he was stopped by Spider-Man. And so now we see him being able to break free once again to only help Mysterio to go after Spider-Man to get revenge against Spider-Man because Spider-Man was the one who had stopped him. And so with that being said, Armada is down to help Mysterio kill off Spider-Man, but at the same time to make new content for Mysterio's brand new network. Now, in this chapter, we're going to focus on a gangbanger known as Shaquem. And when it comes to Shaquem, he's part of a gang known as the Blades. And right now, you have him and Jamie trying to get away from another gang known as the Skulls. Now, when it comes to the Skulls, they're very upset with Shaquem and Jamie being in their territory. So they do plan on killing these guys off. And so when it comes to Jamie, his bright idea is to split up. If they are able to split up, maybe they'll be able to lose the Skulls and get away safely. Unfortunately, that plan does not work out at all because when it comes to Shaquem, he does get cornered by the other gang, the Skulls. Now, luckily for Shaquem, Spider-Man was nearby. But let's not forget that earlier, when it came to Mysterio, he did put adhesive lens on the mask of Spider-Man. And so with those adhesive lens, unfortunately, Spider-Man does not see gangsters going after another gangster. What he sees right now are some kind of weird vampire-like creatures trying to attack an innocent person. And so you do have Spider-Man jump in and fight against these creatures. Now, here's the thing though, because while trying to fight against these creatures, Mysterio is now getting brand new content for his network, but it's also telling Armada where to find Spider-Man at. And so even though it's Spider-Man right now protecting this random guy known as Shaquem, he's also telling Armada, hey, if you are looking for me, I'm over here. And Mysterio is just making more and more money. So it does lead into Spider-Man checking in on Shaquem to make sure that he is okay. Now, Shaquem is wondering what in the world is wrong with Spider-Man because he just watched this guy beat down on a bunch of gang members, but thinking that they were some creatures coming after this young man. Either way, you have Shaquem tell Spider-Man that the only reason why he's part of the Blades is because when it comes to living in New York, you only have one choice, and that one choice is to join a gang. And the reason why? Because the gang is the best choice to survive. And so it does lead into Spider-Man trying to motivate the young guy to say, hey dude, listen, why not try to look for a different path, a better path than being a gangster in New York? Because look, you almost died tonight. It was not for me stepping in and trying to protect you from them. And so the rest of the second chapter is really more just Spider-Man fighting against members of the Skulls, but also Armada as well, because Armada is there to go after Spider-Man, while you have these other members of the Skulls going after, well, Shaquem for being a Blade. And so it does lead into a lot of pages of just Spider-Man trying his best to get rid of Armada, but also to protect Shaquem. And after a few pages, you do have Ben being able to defeat Armada, but also you do have Spider-Man being able to take out the other gang members of the Skulls to protect Shaquem. Now, the way the second chapter does end is really more of Shaquem realizing that maybe the gangster life is not the best life for him. And so he does tell Ben that he is going to step away from the gangster life. But then you have Spider-Man tell the Skulls if they ever try to go after Shaquem, he'll make them pay. He wants to make sure that Shaquem is able to focus on a better life away from the gang life, being able to live a peaceful life, and the Skulls do not try to kill him at all for tonight. But either way, you didn't have Spider-Man say, you know what? With Armada now gone and also Shaquem being protected, it's time for me to go ahead and find Mysterio. And the reason why, because Spider-Man realized what Mysterio did by putting those adhesive lenses on his mask. And so once he's able to take them off, he's all like, okay, it's time for me to go ahead and finish this once and for all. And so getting into the third chapter, we do pick up with Ben heading over to the same building where he found Mystery Vision last time, where he found Mysterio at last time. Except when he does go over to that building, the old theater, well, it is an old theater. It is completely empty and completely run down, which tells Ben that what he saw earlier, what seemed to be a company that's well put together, was all a huge illusion being done by Mysterio. And so now it's Ben wondering, where in the world did Mysterio go now, and what in the world can he do to actually stop Mysterio from winning? And so then we jump over to Mysterio, who has moved into a different building. Now, when it comes to this other building that he has moved into, well, right now he's having a party with all these different kind of famous people for different things right now, telling him that what he has accomplished is a great thing, that his network is doing a great job. The ratings are through the roof. He is happy like no other. And so when he does leave his party to go see like how the ratings truly are, he is beating out other networks like no other. And for Mysterio, this is a great thing, because now he is showing the world that he is someone capable of doing great things when it comes to, well, entertainment. And so then we jump back over to Ben. Now, when we do, we see Ben right now just at home trying to relax after going through a rough couple adventures in the last couple chapters. Either way, he is then reminded that he did plan a date with Jessica at his apartment at 3 o'clock. And so homeboy does freak out, rushes over to the door after he tries to clean up his place a tad bit, but to also clean himself up a tad bit as well. Now, even though he did some cleaning, when she walks in, she's kind of like, dude, your place is a mess. Either way, luckily for Ben, his date with her is not going to be there at his apartment. That matter of fact, they do plan on going out in the city to spend time together. And so this is where we jump over to Ben and also Jessica walking into the city, where they do see more people right now under Mysterio's trance, just watching his brand new network. Now this is where Ben basically tells us what in the world is going on. See, the reason why Mysterio's network has high ratings is because every single time you have someone watching his channel, they're under some kind of trance. And the reason why, because he's playing something that will put people under his trance to make them just watch over and over and over again. And so with that happening, of course, his ratings are just getting higher and higher because he has more and more people who are just watching his network nonstop. Now, when it comes to Ben Reilly, he says the reason why they're doing that is because of the DIT chip. Mysterio is using that chip in some kind of way to broadcast some kind of image that's going to make people just watch his network nonstop, unfortunately, until he has what he wants: total dominance over all networks. Now you do have the story begin to wrap up very quickly because you do have Ben go ahead and leave his date behind Jessica. Now luckily for him, she's okay with their date ending because right now she wants to get more pictures for the Daily Bugle. And so for Ben, he does change into Spider-Man and go pay a visit over to Dr. Ramirez, wondering if there is a way to locate the DIT chip to find Mysterio. Except when it comes to the doctor, he says no, but I do have a better idea. When it comes to the adhesive lens that Mysterio gave you, we should be able to find some kind of transmission. And if we're able to locate where it's coming from, then you'll be able to find Mysterio. And so you have Spider-Man use that as a way to find Mysterio to get into the final battle for this storyline. And so you have been being able to locate Mysterio's brand new base. Now, once he does that, it does lead into a final battle between the two characters. Now, when it comes to their final battle, you do have Mysterio trying his best to use all the different kinds of illusions as a way to trick Ben. But Ben is able to fight through all the different illusions. Now, when it comes to Ben, his main goal at first is to shut down Mysterio's brand new network, to free the people who are being forced right now to watch his channel. And once you have Ben being able to shut down that network, it leads into Ben being able to defeat Mysterio once and for all. And the book really ends with Ben just walking out with Mysterio, getting ready to take him over to prison. And that is the end of Media Blizzard, where Mysterio had his own network for a short period of time, but then lost that network to Ben Reilly Spider-Man. And so this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.